So the final part of your portfolio investigation, you're going to be looking at asymptotes in rational functions. And so a rational function just looks like this. Some function divided by some other function. Now an asymptote is just a line that a function approaches but never quite reaches as things go towards infinity. And so in this function here, you can see that x is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's approaching this line, y equals 2. And as x heads for negative infinity, it also approaches this line, y equals 2. But it never does quite get there. And so here's the example of the function. As you can see, as x approaches negative and positive infinity, this function approaches y equals 2, or the other function, g at x equals 2. And so your question is, what are the features of a rational function that determine the equation of the horizontal asymptote? And so you can experiment with this function, for example. So here it is in Sketchpad. Make sure you get the brackets around the whole top part and the whole bottom part, or Sketchpad will do funky things to you. Okay, I'm going to edit this one a bit. I'm going to change this 6 to an 8, and I'm going to see what happens to my asymptote. And so right now I can see that changing the 6 to an 8's moved it up a bit. I'm going to see what happens if I change it to a 9. And it looks like that horizontal asymptote has changed to the line 3. There we go. Sure enough, it has. Okay, what happens if they're a different degree? I'm going to change this to a cubed on the bottom. Well, I do have an asymptote in this direction, which is the x-axis, and in this direction, which is also the x-axis. Now I'm going to edit my function again, and I have a cubed on the bottom. I'm going to raise this to the 4th power on top, and I do not have any horizontal asymptotes in this case. As I can see, this function heads off towards infinity as x goes towards infinity, and it goes towards negative infinity as x goes towards negative infinity. Okay, so investigate that question. What features of a rational function determine an horizontal asymptote?